Karena itu, meningkatkan pengetahuan dan keterampilan serta kreativitas berinovasi adalah kunci agar dapat bersaing di era digital.
Untuk itulah, sebagai kampus terakreditasi unggul, Universitas Ciputra memberikan peluang emas bagi Anda para entrepreneur, profesional, karyawan, maupun lulusan SMA, SMK yang sudah bekerja dengan menghadirkan Universitas Ciputra Online atau UC Online. Program perkuliahan online bergelar di UC Online didesain secara efektif untuk mengembangkan karir dan bisnis Anda. Dengan perpaduan mata kuliah keilmuan dan entrepreneurial mindset, Anda akan dibimbing secara intensif oleh dosen dan praktisi berpengalaman untuk menerapkan strategi yang inovatif dan relevan dengan industri Anda.
UC Online menghadirkan 3 program perkuliahan online bergelar, yaitu S1 Manajemen, S1 Informatika, dan S2 Manajemen. Seluruh program dirancang dengan struktur kurikulum berstandar nasional dengan masa studi 8 semester untuk program S1 dan 4 semester untuk program S2. UC Online juga menghadirkan program Corporate Class, yaitu program perkuliahan yang dirancang secara khusus untuk sebuah instansi atau perusahaan, di mana instansi atau perusahaan dapat mengirimkan karyawan pilihannya untuk mengikuti studi lanjut, serta mendapatkan materi perkuliahan yang disusun secara spesifik sesuai dengan studi kasus yang dihadapi. Program ini diharapkan dapat meningkatkan produktivitas dan kinerja instansi dan perusahaannya.
Sekaranglah waktunya. Bergabunglah di UC Online. Raihlah masa depan yang sukses dengan keahlian dan ilmu pengetahuan. Creating world-class professionals and entrepreneurs.
Saat ini, dunia bisnis bergerak sangat cepat. Kita harus terus memperluas ilmu pengetahuan, skill, dan networking. Oleh karena itu, UC Online menghadirkan program kuliah online S1 Manajemen yang menjadi solusi untuk Anda, para profesional dan entrepreneur. Dengan fleksibilitas jadwal perkuliahan yang dapat diakses kapanpun dimanapun, Anda akan dimentori oleh dosen dan pakar di bidang pemasaran, operasional, keuangan, dan bisnis digital. Program ini akan membuat mindset entrepreneurial Anda semakin terasah, networking Anda semakin luas, dan kapasitas karir Anda akan meningkat.
Selama kuliah di UC Online, saya sangat menikmati konsep flexible learning yang diterapkan. Kurikulum yang dirancang dengan baik dan dapat diakses online kapanpun dan dimanapun memberikan fleksibilitas yang sangat membantu, terutama dengan jadwal mengajar saya yang padat sebagai seorang guru bahasa Mandarin. Di sela-sela luang saya mengajar, saya dapat menyempatkan diri untuk belajar materi perkuliahan melalui platform e-learn. Saya yakin bahwa ilmu manajemen dan entrepreneurial mindset yang saya peroleh di manajemen UC Online akan sangat aplikatif bagi perkembangan karir dan pribadi saya. 来吧，加入 UC Online 和我们一起学习。
Sebagai seorang content creator dan influencer, saya menikmati perkuliahan S1 Manajemen di UC Online yang mengasah kreativitas dan pola pikir bisnis saya. Ilmu-ilmu manajemen yang diajarkan sangat membantu pekerjaan saya memiliki arah dan sistem yang profesional. Tidak hanya itu, saya juga bertemu dengan berbagai profil pengusaha dan profesional yang tergabung di dalam kelas UC Online. Selain mendapat ilmu akademis, saya juga mendapatkan beragam bisnis insight dan sharing-sharing praktisi yang berguna untuk perjalanan karir saya.
Mari, ambil peluang ini dan raih mimpi masa depan Anda. Bergabunglah sekarang di UC Online.
Bagi Anda yang ingin bekerja sebagai web and mobile apps developer, network analyst, data analyst, dan digital entrepreneur, atau Anda yang ingin meningkatkan keterampilan baru di bidang tersebut, UC Online menghadirkan program S1 Informatika yang akan memperlengkapi Anda dengan berbagai ilmu pengetahuan seperti algoritma, pemrograman web, pemrograman mobile, database, jaringan komputer, keamanan jaringan, sains data, kecerdasan buatan, dan masih banyak mata kuliah pendukung lainnya. Nikmati kemudahan kuliah online dengan waktu yang sangat fleksibel. Permasalahan yang dikaitkan dengan aktivitas pekerjaan kita sehari-hari. Dan yang pasti, kita bisa kuliah sambil tetap bekerja.
Hal yang saya suka saat berkuliah di UC Online adalah kita didorong untuk melihat problem sehari-hari yang terjadi, kemudian membuat rumusan bagaimana kita menyelesaikan permasalahan tersebut. Hal ini menurut saya penting saat diterapkan di dalam dunia bisnis, karena insting kita untuk menyelesaikan sebuah problem sudah diasah sejak berkuliah. Berkuliah di UC Online membentuk saya menjadi seorang pebisnis yang kompeten. Didukung dengan ilmu IT yang terkini, kombinasi antara keilmuan dan pengalaman praktik bisnis menjadi paket lengkap yang saya dapatkan di Informatika UC Online.
Materi-materi yang diajarkan di S1 Informatika UC Online sangat mendalam dan terkini, membawa saya lebih jauh dalam memahami dunia web development dan AI. Keunggulan kurikulum ini memberikan saya kesempatan untuk belajar dari para ahli di bidangnya, mengasah keterampilan teknis, dan merancang solusi inovatif. Saya dipersiapkan dengan baik untuk menghadapi tantangan industri yang terus berkembang.
Sekarang adalah waktunya Anda. Raihlah mimpi Anda menjadi digital entrepreneur yang handal. Bersama dengan partner-partner kerjasama UC, peluang karir dan masa depan cerah telah menanti Anda. Daftarkan diri Anda sekarang juga.
Bagi Anda yang ingin meningkatkan kompetensi, terutama di bidang Business Consultant, Chief Marketing Officer, Intrapreneur maupun Entrepreneur, sekarang UC Online menghadirkan program S2 Manajemen dengan sistem pembelajaran full online yang tentunya akan sangat memudahkan Anda untuk mengemban pendidikan di tengah kesibukan Anda. Terdapat 2 peminatan di S2 Manajemen, yaitu Strategic Marketing Management dan Strategic Service Management. Pada Strategic Marketing Management, pembelajarannya akan berfokus pada penciptaan strategi pemasaran yang disesuaikan dengan perilaku konsumen. Sedangkan pada Strategic Service Management, pembelajarannya akan berfokus pada penciptaan layanan yang prima dalam sebuah institusi sampai dengan bagaimana sebaiknya melakukan revitalisasi layanan dalam sebuah organisasi.
Waktu perkuliahan UC Online yang fleksibel merupakan solusi bagi saya yang memiliki jadwal yang padat namun ingin tetap menimba ilmu di perkuliahan. Metode belajar mandiri, mentoring yang intensif, dan tatap muka online yang dapat di playback memungkinkan saya untuk belajar di mana saja dan kapan saja. Kualitas dosen di UC Online tentu saja sudah tidak diragukan. Pembelajaran di Magister Manajemen UC Online semakin mempertajam kemampuan dan pemahaman saya terhadap proses bisnis untuk menghadapi tantangan ke depan. Dengan studi kasus dan mentoring dari praktisi, membuat pembelajaran lebih aplikatif dan tidak sekedar teori.
Berkuliah Magister Manajemen di UC Online adalah pilihan yang tepat bagi saya seorang wanita karir dan ibu rumah tangga yang mengurus keluarga. Jadwal perkuliahan online yang fleksibel memudahkan saya mengatur aktivitas sehari-hari dengan seimbang. Metode belajar bisa dilakukan secara mandiri dan juga secara online bersama-sama. Materi praktik bisnis yang diberikan sangat aplikatif karena tidak hanya mengajarkan teori saja, tapi langsung dapat dieksekusi dalam pekerjaan kita.
Masa depan Anda ditentukan dari sekarang. Manfaatkan kesempatan ini untuk mengupgrade diri menjadi pribadi yang lebih baik. Ayo join S2 Manajemen UC Online dan raih manfaatnya. Daftarkan diri Anda sekarang.
Good afternoon, distinguished speakers, respected lecturers, and all participants joining us from various cities and countries. Welcome to the UC Online Learning Talk. Today's session is titled Building Resilient Asian Organization Through Sustainability-Focused Coaching and Mentoring. We are truly honored to have distinguished speakers who bring both international and national academic excellence to this session. Allow me to briefly introduce them. First, we are privileged to have Dr. Duminda Rajasinghe, a senior lecturer at Nottingham Business School from Nottingham, Trent University, United Kingdom. We are also honored to welcome Dr. Hastuti Naibaho, Magister Science, a Magister Management lecturer at Universitas Ciputra, Indonesia. Please join me in giving them a warm virtual welcome. Next, before we officially begin, how is everyone feeling today? If you're excited for this session, please give us reactions, or you may type ready in the chat box. I'll wait for your reactions. All right, I love the energy. Thank you, everyone. Before anything, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Angelica. I will be your master ceremony for today's event. It is my pleasure to guide you through this insightful international session. Next, before we begin, allow me to briefly walk you through today's agenda. As shown on the screen, our session will be structured into 7 main parts. First, we will begin with the opening. Second, we will have the welcome speech. Third, we will proceed to the lecture session, where our distinguished speakers will share their insights. Fourth, we will open the floor for an interactive Q&A session. Fifth, we will have a group photo session. Sixth, we will ensure all participants complete the attendance requirement. And finally, we will conclude the event with a closing session. We have carefully arranged this program to ensure a meaningful and engaging academic discussion. Next, before we proceed, allow me to share several important reminders for attendance and feedback, especially for UC students. Please make sure you sign in at the beginning and complete the survey via CEDX at your account. Your participation and feedbacks are highly appreciated. During the session, to maintain a respectful and conducive learning environment, first, please keep your camera on. Second, kindly mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Third, actively participate during the discussion. And last, maintain professionalism throughout the session. For Zoom display name format, it is for documentation purpose. So for UC students, please rename your name into major underscore full name. And for general participants, rename it into institution underscore full name. If you haven't renamed yourself yet, kindly do so now. Thank you for your cooperation. Next slide. To officially open today's event, we are honored to invite Dr. Theophilus Sarjana Ekonomi, Magister Management, Certified Revenue Management Executive, Head of the Master of Management Program at Universitas Ciputra UC Online Learning. Dr. Theophilus plays a significant role in advancing management education and academic excellence within the program. Without further ado, we respectfully invite Dr. Theophilus to deliver his welcome speech. Dr. Theophilus, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Angelica, and good afternoons, our distinguished speakers, Mr. Duminda Rajasinghe from Nottingham, Trent Universities, and Ms. Hastuti Naibaho from Universitas Ciputra, respected colleague and dear students of the Magister Management Program. It is an honor to welcome everyone to this important session on building resilient organization through sustainability coaching. Well, as we know that today's discussion is not merely about coaching as a managerial tools, but rethinking leadership in a world facing profound challenges, from environmental degradation and social inequalities to digital disruption and organizational fragilities. Well, as a leaders, managers, and scholars, we do operate in an era where resilience is no longer an optional. Organizations are expected not only to perform financially, but also to demonstrate responsibilities toward peoples and the planet. Well, the triple bottom line is no longer a slogan. It is a strategic imperative. Yet strategic alone is not enough, without culture, mindset, or behavioral for change. This is where coaching, mentoring, becomes deeply relevant. Coaching, when understood a human-centered and democratic approach to learning, empower individual to reflect critically and develop resilience and take ownership of sustainable action. It shifts leadership from control to enablement, from instruction to transformation. In doing so, It strengthens not only individual capabilities, but also organizational capabilities. Well, for our Magister management communities, this topic resonates strongly with our mission to develop strategic leaders who are not only competent, but also ethical, resilient, and socially responsible. Sustainability and resilience must be embedded in a decision-making performance systems and leadership development practices. Okay, so may this session encourage critical reflection, inspire new perspective, and challenge each of us to rethink about how we lead, how we learn, and how we contribute to more sustainable organizations and societies. On behalf of the Magister Management Program, I warmly welcome our speakers and wish everyone a meaningful and insightful session. Thank you. Angelica.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Theophilus, for your inspiring and encouraging remarks. Next, to guide today's lecture and discussion session, we are honored to have Dr. Joseph Robert Daniel, Sarjana Science, Magister Management, as our moderator. We are now respectfully invite Dr. Joseph to take over the session. Dr. Joseph, are you here and ready?
Yes, I'm here and ready. Thank you, Angelica. And also thank you, Dr. Theophilus, for your welcoming speech. It's truly an honor to moderate the session again, and I would like to say hello and welcome to everyone who have joined, our respected colleagues and also UC students who care to spare some time to be with us this evening in a session, another UCO Global Talk session, which today we're going to discuss how to build resilience organizations through sustainability-focused coaching and learning. I'm Dr. Joseph Robert Daniel. I'm a lecturer at the IBM UC Online Learning, and it is a pleasure to meet all of you again in UC Global Talk. I'd like to provide an introductory note about the topic of our talk this evening. The title, as you see, is Building Resilience in Asian Organization Through Sustainably Focused Coaching and Mentoring. As I think has been wonderfully introduced by our head of department and Magister and Management Program, Dr. Theophilus, the key concepts here are resilience, sustainability, and coaching. In the hyper-competitive world, organizations are increasingly pressured to be resilient, but at the same time, not only focus on profit and capital, but also finding a way to create a safer planet and environment for the future generations. So in our session today, we're going to delve into questions like what works and what doesn't work in organization, in management, in helping organizations today to achieve these two pressing challenges. So, and what is coaching and mentoring, and how it may help members and leaders of organization, especially in the Asia context, to respond to this true pressing challenge of our time. We are happy and truly honored to welcome Dr. Duminda Rajasinghe. I think we can give applause to Dr. Duminda Rajasinghe from Nottingham Trent University. It's truly a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Duminda. Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Do you have your coffee with you?
I had 2 coffees already this morning, Saturday morning. So I'm looking forward to the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Duminda. I'd like to introduce Dr. Duminda's profile to all the audience. Dr. Duminda Rajasinghe is a senior lecturer in human resource management and organizational behavior at Nottingham Trent University, where he is part of Nottingham Business School. He holds a PhD from University of Leeds and with research focusing on leadership development through executive coaching using interpretive phenomenological analysis. Dr. Rajasinghe has extensive teaching experience across undergraduate, postgraduate, and executive education, and has worked with diverse learning communities across Europe, Asia, and Middle East. His research interests include adult learning, coaching, leadership development, and entrepreneurship. He is now a Senior Fellow of Advanced Higher Education in UK, an academic member and assessor of CIPD, and currently serves as a chair of the University Forum of Human Resource Management. Thank you for your time and your accept to be part of our event today. And we will happy to learn from you. Okay, I'd like to introduce our second speaker and also our discussion today. Our very own Dr. Hastuti Naibaho. Halo, Bu Tuti, apa kabar?
Halo Pak Joseph, kabar baik. Hello Duminda.
Hello.
Yeah, finally after 7 years, yeah, we meet in the same forum for the academic to talk again. Yeah, thank
Exactly.
you. Yeah, thank you for joining us in this global talk.
Yeah,
You are very welcome.
yes, thank you, Bu Hastuti. I'd like to introduce a little bit about the profile of Ibu Hastuti. Dr. Hastuti Naibaho is a faculty member at the Magister Management Program of Universitas Ciputra Online Learning, and she earned her doctoral degree with cum laude from Universitas Gajah Mada, specializing in management science. Her expertise lies in organizational behavior and strategic management, both at macro and micro levels. Dr. Naibaho is also a certified professional assessor accredited by Indonesia's National Professional Certification Board, or the BNSP, with competencies in human capital management and training methodology. With previous industry experience in telecommunications, manufacturing, and nonprofit sectors, she brings strong practical insight into her academic work. She has held various leadership roles in higher education institutions and actively contributes to research, consultancy, and professional development initiative in human resource management and organizational studies. Please join me to warmly welcome our two speakers today. And now I think we are ready to start the event. But before that, I would like to describe the rundown of our session of the talk. And first, we'll hear a presentation. We'll follow a presentation from Dr. Duminda, and he will share some key insights and his perspective on coaching and the role of coaching in helping organizations to be resilient and more sustainable. And it'll be followed by a commentary and response from Ibu Hastuti as our discussants today. And then we will have a conversation with the audience and also three of us. And we will welcome everyone to participate in our discussion by chatting on the chat box or raise their hands and give their questions to our speakers. And we will have at least like 1 hour for our conversation today. And we look forward to dive deep into the topic that we have at hand. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to give the opportunity now to Dr. Duminda Rajasinghe to share his thoughts and everything that he has prepared about the topic to begin the discussion. The floor is yours, Dr. Duminda. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm very much looking forward to the whole session.
Yeah.
But just to mention, like you mentioned, please, I just talk for 20 minutes or so, and then I think the conversation is the most important part of this session. So I encourage every single individual who attend to engage, ask questions, and pass your thoughts. None of what I say is universal knowledge. One of anything I say is not directly applicable to anywhere, I think, So the idea here is about generating thoughts, critical evaluations, and see if we can transfer some understanding of what we say to one of your organizations and to your life. So let's focus on that, perspective that, position the session from that way. So when you think about building resilient organizations through, sustainability coaching. It's a very, very big topic area. So how I am approaching this is through learning, coaching for learning and development. There are a lot of discourses in coaching. So the today's focus would be around coaching for learning and development and how we as um, ready people within organizations can create sustainability, can contribute to sustainability, and also build more resilient organizations through our resilience, the people factors. So that's my area or the positioning of the talk today, just for your understanding, right? So I, something I do here is something I don't like to do at first. I will be talking about some negatives to start with, right? And that is to set the context, just to alert all of us where we are now. And then I will conclude the session with a positive. So that's not my initial or practice that I usually do, but I thought it's very important that we look at what some of our challenges first. I give you a little understanding of coaching, within 20 minutes. I think it's very difficult. Again, I'm continuously engaged with anybody who would like to understand it further and show you bit around how coaching can bring learning and development, but also highlight some challenges. As I mentioned, it's not about just having this is the only way forward for us to achieve what we are trying to achieve in organizations and in our life. And then I open it up for discussion. So if you look at figures, there are some shocking figures. Every 40 seconds, somebody between 15 to 29, commit suicides. And in the UK, from 18 years old to 35 years old, that age category, every week they throw away around 35 pounds worth of food. And recently they published a report from age 16 to 24 who should be in full-time education or in employment in the UK. Now there's near 1 million without jobs or in higher education in the UK. And if you look at the water crisis or hunger, there's billions in the world that do not have safe drinking water. Air pollution, I'm a big cricket fan. When our cricketers from Sri Lanka, I'm originally from Sri Lanka, play in Calcutta once 2 years ago or so, they were vomiting. So it's so challenging for us, and the list is not conclusive. And we know the increasing level of, the sea and all these issues in the environment we've seen. Who created that? Is it me or you? Maybe we've contributed to some extent, but the developed world is heavily responsible. Multinationals are heavily responsible, but often we get the blame. So my challenge here is not to blame anybody today, but to see, can we actually do something as an organization, as individuals, as educators, as institutions who educate next generation leaders. So in that purpose, I bring you to this concept called employee pro-environmental behavior. It is about having a positive behavior towards the built environment or the natural environment, how actually we can change and support positive organizational and employee behavior. Then they go into the environment and society and support the sustainability, right? Which can be voluntary or indirectly positively influenced by, and then as a result, obviously, we will have the opportunity to actively and willingly look after the environment that we are in and also contribute it. So I think in HR, in leadership, we have a great opportunity to support that behavior change, attitudinal change, and perception change. Because we are so much driven by societal norms and structural how do you call it, systemic challenges that have been helped us to think a way that we think without critically evaluating why we think what we think and how credible is our thinking and action towards the environment, sustainability and support or organizational resilience. So how ethical we are as individuals, as organizations, as institutions is a question that I would like you to question and ask and seek for questions and be more curious about. So within this, I've also invite you to think about and exploring more about understanding environmental leadership. In my view, it's a much unheard phenomenon in leadership because that doesn't give the financial advantage for leaders, right? So if you are a transformational visionary leader, leadership is seen as quite masculine, result oriented, somebody who's there to punish, control, and to get the work done. And we've not seen leadership as somebody is there to support the environment, the people, and encourage people to be, voluntarily, not rule based, not control based, not systemic approaches. We call it as modern day slavery. Without we knowing, we are part of those systemic structures where you got to do things without you knowing a lot. You will be complying rather than willingly contributing. So please explore that concept of environmental leadership as along with employee pro environmental behavior. Right. So, I was like thinking, did Dr. Theo seen my presentation before? And triple bottom line came in his introduction. So I was very happy about it because what we lack again in organizations, I think we've coined this concept in 1994 also. So it's over 30 years ago or so. And still, if you look at any organization in India, Sri Lanka, United Kingdom, Indonesia, if you talk about people a lot, if you talk about the environment a lot, what often happens is, you get kicked out, right? And if you think about credit crunch or any other financial challenges, one of the key budgets to take off from your organizational budget would be training and development, one of the easiest and the first to go away. So it's more than time now. Yes, we were teaching these concepts. We were saying in organization that we use these concepts. We care about people. It's all about balanced scorecard. We got to go away from the finance. It doesn't mean that you don't, focus on finance, right? But what we have done so far is for the last 3 decades, we haven't walked the talk. So this is one reason that there will be more fish or plastic in sea by 2050 than fish, right? And this is not what we really want, right? So I invite you again to have a more holistic view about the organization, right? And Nokia is a great example. They were more focusing on or be very happy about what they've achieved rather than thinking about their ability to change, understand, develop people, and suddenly they collapse. So please think from that. And then I bring you into coaching, right? Coaching is a very messy term. There are a lot of interpretations. In my view, very rightly so. There can be very different interpretations to coaching because it's a social activity informed by humanist philosophy. And again, humanism came in when Dr. Theo was introducing the session. So it's about people having the right to define their lives, right? Shape their lives and and do what they think is right for them. And it's difficult. You can challenge me later, right? And I also think it should be for everybody. Nobody should own and protect coaching, right? And it is a way of democratically supporting uh, people to learn, become themselves, achieve their potentials. In coaching, we support autonomy, uh, learner differences. Um, Also, we respect the perspectives. We listen very carefully. We provide the space. We do our best not to be judgmental, which is very difficult. We are all judgmental. And then we try to come away from so long existed school system where you have a very stage model. You got to go to year 1 to 2 to 3. You do to advanced level before go to university. In year 1, year 2, and so on within university. So used to that track of moving forward in a stage way of doing it. There's a lot of discussions around as adults. This is a very reductionist way of learning. Where's our freedom? And if you look at theoretical perspectives on andragogy, where we believe in the learner as a resourceful individual who comes to learn because they have a purpose to learn. So if I and we approach learning, coaching from that perspective, giving the right, it's not only the lecturer, the speaker knows, the learners also are very aware, very knowledgeable. And this will be a very good way forward for all of us to think, can we be equal within our classrooms? Can we have a conversation, critical questions to challenge our predispositions and share knowledge rather than trying to transfer knowledge one way or the other way is the highway. Get out if you don't believe me. I am the boss in the room kind of an approach, okay, which is very reductionist. So what coaching does is help you to challenge your predispositions because we are all, our religion, the education, our parents, childhood experiences, all have told us a very different way of thinking. One glass of beer in the UK, if you don't drink, they ask you. This is almost like I am crazy if I don't drink, right? In Sri Lanka, it's a sin. If you drink alcohol, it's a sin from Buddhist philosophy informed thinking in Sri Lanka. Maybe in the Saudi kingdom, you will be in jail if you drink. It's the same thing, same glass of beer, right? So we got to think how people see the same thing so differently. So we got to challenge those predispositions to understand and develop novel understanding, right? And then coaching also develop self-understanding. You should aware of yourself, know thyself, know your enemies, know your territory, right? And it develops the focus, the presence, and encourages people to be in their time, the space, right? In the moment, that presence. We've lost that. It's so important. More importantly, in my research, through our research, we also understand that people get into coaching, who does coaching as well as who go through coaching, is very good at self-caring. We've lost that, If you see there's a health crisis, now it's time to get back to this. And it also facilitates self-directed learning, which is very much continuous. So it's continuous self-directed learning that we can spark through coaching and mentoring. So there's possibilities. These are some positive outcomes, a way of ensuring knowledge for us as individuals and teams within organizations. So as I mentioned, if we redefine coaching as an innate quality of wise, please remember this, wise humanity. The answer to the question who owns coaching is nobody. Everybody owns it, right? So I think we all have the right to have coaching and mentoring as part of our day-to-day lives. The problem we have is, are we ready? How do our organizations are ready to accommodate, to do that and support such approaches within organizations, learning and way of managing and leading organizations. And there's another problem within coaching. I will take you through it very quickly. So coaching and mentoring also emerging as a very good way of supporting. I've already mentioned about accommodating different learning styles, learning challenges, and personalizing learning a bit more than traditional approaches to learning. So it's emerging as a very high potential tool that can be used to encourage and facilitate inclusive, supportive, collaborative way of learning within organizations. But the problem we see in coaching is very much still a white, uh, tool, technique, whatever you think about concept, often privileged people because it's very expensive in the West. I'm not quite sure in Indonesia. It's very expensive. So it's about privilege. Who have money can have access to it, and who have the power have the opportunity to coach in big organizations. Who have power can earn a lot of money through coaching, right? So what we should look at in terms of that is what we have in West and what we have in South. Can we actually use what we have, our religions, our cultures, our history, our environments, right, to facilitate more conducive way of coaching, mentoring, as well as supporting organizations to be more resilient? Okay, so the challenges, are we ready? My readiness as a coach is question and challenge. Are we knowledgeable? Do I have the right skill? At the same time, whether coachee readiness is there, right? Skills, knowledge, understanding is paramount if you are to make this success. I've also read about Indonesia. I think it's business is about relationships more than transactions, right? And in cultures like this, can we actually develop the right relationship, non-judgmental relationship, uh, improve the trust, avoid the misalignment, organizational misalignment? I will come to that. And can we also maintain boundaries? In the name of coaching, are we doing therapy? And how confidential we are within organizations if you get into coaching engagements internally? Can we trust? Who ensures trust? Can we believe our leaders who are coaching? And now I get back to sustainability again. Okay. So it's about, in brief terms, it's about meeting your own needs without compromising others, our future generations' ability to meet their own needs, whether it's water, air, whatever it is that we think from. Please hold on to that. And then organizational resilience for me is about bouncing back, having the ability to cope. Please think about COVID, how we did that. In Sri Lanka, we had the financial crisis where people had to queue for 2-3 days to get some fuel in. People were singing, partying in queues, right? And they were very, resilient even in that type of environment. So it's about your ability as an organization, as individuals, to bounce back, be flexible, be innovative, be creative, use those opportunities. In COVID during, I know quite a few of my friends were thinking about, can we get more rice, right? And some were thinking, can I create a business opportunity out of this? So how do you have that mindset to think, how do you use those opportunities and challenges, right? And then you can do all of that. But remember this very famous quote from Peter Drucker, you can have the best strategy, you can have coaching, learning, embedded culture within the organization, whatever you try to do it. But if your culture is, toxic, and he says, culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? So we as leaders in organizations, you can have the best research results, research evidence, practice evidence, but if you don't ensure that you have a strategic alignment, vertical and horizontal, and then also you have a supportive culture and the environment, the right tools to implement these initiatives, it's very difficult for you to achieve anything that is possible within coaching and mentoring, right? And just to come to conclusion of the first part of it, so if you think coaching has the potential to play an empowering and enabling role where we can create more humanized organizations, humanization is about letting people to have more authority, more dignity, and challenge the oppression, diversity related challenges within organizations and systemic injustice. And sometimes you say you born poor, that's your fate. And is it actually our fate, or is it systemic? It is something that we have to question about. And Freire, long time ago, said it is people's vocation to humanize the education. It is leaders' vocation to humanize our organizations. It is leaders' vocation to give voice to people who doesn't have a voice. It is our vocation to create opportunities for unprivileged people through our businesses, through our leadership positions, through our education. So I welcome you to engage in this conversation and see how we can collectively. I can't do it alone. Joseph can't do it alone. Hastuti can't do it alone. So let's get together, question our practices, create opportunities for people to learn together, use perhaps a more coaching approach if you agree, and go from there. Over to you, Hastuti, now.
Okay, okay, please, Mr. Joseph.
Yes, thank you, Duminda. This is a very interesting ideas, and you touch on a lot of points, a lot of interesting points here. And I am sure, based on the response that we have from the audience, I think many will, these ideas are resonate with many of us, and this will be a very interesting conversation. Before we go further, I'd like to give an opportunity to Dr. Hastuti. Bu Tuti, do you
Yes.
have any comments, any ideas, or maybe you have any comments about things that Duminda have said? Please share with us. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Duminda, for the insightful presentations. Yeah, personally, it changed my minds. Yeah, and then broader my definition about the coaching. Yeah, because from your presentation or from your talk that coaching is not only for the instrumental goals, yeah, but it's broader than it. Coaching for the humanizations, yeah. Yeah, so this is interest. Yeah, so we just mean that everyone could share the knowledge, pre-existing knowledge to others to enhance the wellness. And from your presentation, please allow me to note some point from my talk. First is from definition and the challenge of coaching from the short or Asian perspective. So it is very insightful when we realize that definition of coaching is more to self-reflection, self-awareness, behavioral change, which is mean that everyone can do it. Unfortunately, for some short culture or Asian culture, the definition of the coaching limited by the power of society. So the thinking and behavior of people in short culture, it will determine how themselves. So for example, when I live in the Asian culture, even I have knowledge and I believe that this knowledge could share to other people to enhance the wellness or to increase the individual level of people. But my definition or my perception of my quality will determine of the social perception. So I think that when I want to share my existing knowledge to the older or to the higher level society, so I will limit it my behavior because of the social perceptions. So this is the challenge in Asians. It is also give the effect both to the leaders and the subordinates. When I am a leader, I will have pre-existing belief that I own the coach. And then when I coach, I will not expect that the subordinate give me feedback. To what I will learn to other. And also from the subordinate perspective, they will believe that everything that the leader shared, it is proof that that information is true and also give benefit to myself, even it is not. So this is the challenge. So the second is the role of coaching. Mostly in Asian country, family business will dominate it than multinational business, which is mean that family business still survive for the growth organization, survival from the competition. So the goal of the company still limited to the performance, to the survival, to the growth of organization. So when they talk about coaching, the purpose is only about the performance organization, which is measured by the financial, and then the product or market share growth. So it is implemented to the designing coaching program. The coaching program will define to link to the KPI, which is mean this KPI link to the individual or leaders target. So what I want to share is the coaching here is still limited to the instrumental goal of the organization, and not to the humanizations, not to the justice perceptions. So this is the challenge also to the organization. So when we talk about coaching will encourage proactive behavior, positive proactive behavior, such as pro-environmental behavior, I think that it is far from the way of our purpose. So I think that it is still possible to achieve, but we need to change the mindset of the top leader here. So the definition of the coaching and why you should coach, and the defined purpose of coaching, we should approach, or we should priority this first step. So that is the opinion, my response to this, to your presentations. So we will explore. We will explore another discussion or another opinion also from you and from audience. So I will get to the Joseph. Thank you, Duminda.
Oh, very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Tuti, sharing the perspective of Asian organization and Asian family business and what's happening in managerial roles and the challenges of coaching and embedding sustainability and resilience. I think it's very interesting topic to discuss.
Very.
I would like to go to Duminda first.
Yeah,
before
so
I open the stage for everyone to share their
just
opinions from the audience.
yeah, just to add to it, Joseph.
Yeah.
I get that culturally we are trained to listen than questions. Like I'm talking from my Sri Lankan perspective. So you are not encouraged to question. And in coaching, often, and good question is worth a million, perhaps, than the answer, because it can help you to find the answer by yourself. This morning I was reading again as part of my kind of preparation to this, and I heard and hear somebody saying, if you got the problem, you also got the answer, right? But have you been given an opportunity to find the answer? That's the challenge. And in my presentation, I mentioned what we lack is those questioning. So as a leader myself, do I question enough my practice, my predispositions? We don't. As we progress, as we have that child experience of telling, we continue to do that. So I have this now. I give you my personal experience here. My kids, my daughter is 7 years old, right? So we now have more open conversations. She questioned my practice. If you don't do it, I should do. If you say I should do, you should do. Like these questions I very positively take. But as a Sri Lankan father, it's so challenging sometimes to think whether this is the right way forward. Right. One of my uh, co-authors now, very renowned Professor David Clutterbuck in coaching. He once told me every single generation of kids got very good at telling lies. But what we should do is to encourage them to tell the lie if they are telling a lie, asking a nice question or two, because that's so constructive in their world. So are we, as leaders, even if it's not, something that you believe in, can we give that space as we, like Professor David Clutterbuck said, even a lie, can you let your employee to tell you without judging first? Because all of these innovations, helicopter was just a picture in history. Somebody draw it without even knowing the possibility, right? So it was a lie. So why don't we encourage, ideas, voices, rather than thinking it's a lie? When people thought about flying first time, they were like laughing. You know what I mean? So I think if we are to create positive change, we got to appreciate a lie if it's a lie, because lie is it's in your world, it's a lie. Maybe the person who tells you is the best idea they have. So we got to think very differently in my view. It's very difficult, I acknowledge.
Okay, that's a very interesting point, and it got me thinking that culture, in some way, organizational culture, in some way, protects the members. We like to work where there is a structure, expected behaviors, and everything, and it helps us to function as an organization. And in some ways, it also helps us to compete and achieve something in the world, especially for successful organizations. But when somebody comes in and say that your culture is not working, this is dangerous for the planet or dangerous for everyone, and they will get, like somehow they will become reluctant or resistant to new ideas and everything. And it's so embedded. The leaders are embodied this kind of perspective. They believe that strategy works. What all the preconceived ideas in their minds are hard to change. So what's the role of coaching? How do you get into that kind of preconceived ideas and change that? How, in your experience, how do you help leaders to understand that they need to be open, even though their strategy or their culture is work?
So it's like my experience of because I work as an executive coach in the Nottingham Business School, where directors of big organizations come in to do their executive MBA, for example. Oftentimes as we engage in coaching conversations, what we hear, I've also interviewed quite a lot of directors in the UK and elsewhere. One thing is, in any organization, I think this is not culture based. Every leader is expected to kind of know everything, right? So they are trying to pretend they know everything, right? And to tell everybody what they think is right, right? So having an open but constructive conversation with critical questions, what helps them, how it helps them is to think, wow, never thought about it. Oh, I was very wrong in this, but I used my positional power, my stick, to stop surfacing those important questions, challenges. The alertness, the presence that create through coaching, helps them to go back and think and act very differently. It takes some time, first, second, third. Suddenly they come and say, some told me they feel very shamed by their approach. And they were like, oh, I thought I had this opportunity a bit earlier in my life. So there's a lot of high-end coaches now think we should embed coaching in schools. So to answer your question, it's about actually alerting, because in organizations, I never go to my vice chancellor and say, hey, this is not the way forward. Because there's, any institution, I'm not just talking about this, a hierarchy, the distance is there. So it doesn't allow anybody to challenge the leaders, or the subordinates doesn't have the trust to challenge. So coaching can't create that space. Unless you're open to that, you can't, because you will go back to your square peg, But if you are very open and very much curious about, can you have another approach, a different approach? I think we can alert that question through challenging, reflective. I think, please, if you haven't, look at that book called Reflective Practitioner. I think that is what we are lacking.
Okay, please allow me to add some information.
Please.
Thank you, Duminda. So when we talk about unfit cultures, previously I worked for, before I turned my career into academic, I worked for UK companies. Yeah, it is profit-oriented company. So our top leader from the London, Polandia. So the perceptions about the work environment are influenced by the Western cultures. Yeah. So when first when we join the company, the leader from the Western culture, how they manage the employee, it's also gave us a shock culture. Yeah. For example, my country manager encouraged us to tell the mistake or the failure when we work. Yeah. So it is quite a different culture from Indonesia. Yeah. So people, yeah, management, the leaders in the meeting room, management room, yeah, when the top management, the country manager ask the leader to share the failure, nobody want to talk. Yeah. And then the country manager stimulate by presenting one of the regional manager failures and then give a significant influence effect to the organization. Yeah. First impression from us, yeah, it's like humiliating the leaders. Yeah. Because it is a big forum. Yeah. And then by the time and by how the country manager proceed these things, yeah, highlights that this is not the punishment, but this is the forum of how we can learn from the failures of others. So don't judge people or manager who made mistakes. The country manager always highlight that point. And then by the time, we are Indonesians people, yeah, even we are from Indonesian cultures, by the time we then proactively share our failures because we want to get free feedback and then suggestion from the others. Yeah. Yeah. So what I want to say that the role of reader is important. Yeah. Very important. And then even if we come to the different culture, like Joseph said, yeah. So how the leader transfer the change process, it is the critical pace, yeah, the critical step, yeah, to achieve the end target of change. Yeah.
Definitely.
We are blessed with enthusiastic participants in the chat. We have a lot of questions. People are responding to the conversations very actively.
Nice.
And I would like to open the Q&A part of this conversation because we are in the middle of the segment of the conversation. And yeah, I'd like to go to Ibu Jenny Marini. Maybe if you could open your cam or you can open your mic, you can ask directly to your question. Or if not, I'd like to read your question to Duminda. Feel free, Bu Jenny.
Good afternoon, Mr. Duminda.
Hello, Jenny. Thank
How
you.
are you?
Very good. Thank you. I'm
This is
inspired. When I speak about this, I get so excited.
yeah. This is the first experience for me for follow the international seminar in my campus, Ciputra. This is based on my experience because I work at hospitality industry as a GM. Many people are always take care, and many management I always study for that. There is interested for me when you are said about mindset because with people with other demography, other country, and other improvement when we are child until we are grow up. That's also influence our behavior, Mr. Duminda.
Exactly.
I already read in my chat about my question.
Okay.
Maybe I need your view because my experience with truly depreciate authentic coaching leadership from leadership that is coaching is name only, because my experience always meet a leader like that, Mr. Duminda. Maybe you can help me for
Sorry,
explanation.
I didn't get the last part of it. Could you please come again?
In my experience, many leaders claim to practice coaching leadership.
Yeah.
Because there is when in my company there is four part: mentoring, coaching, training, and counseling. There is
Okay,
part for we
perfect.
are take care for our people. In your view, what truly differentiates authentic coaching leadership and leadership that is coaching in name only? That is
Leadership.
Mr. Domina.
So authentic leadership and leadership only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's just very simple. You know, the purpose. You know, in academia, you said axiological values. So are you driven by your genuine purpose to support your colleagues? And I think that's where the authenticity comes in terms of coaching and learning and development. The problem is we are so driven by organizational and leaders' agenda. Sometimes it's not even organizational and leaders' predispositions. This where they, without even we knowing, we drive our workforces, individuals to, in the name of leadership, to somewhere that the organization doesn't want, so as leader doesn't want, because of that unconscious incompetence of knowing what actually we live for, what the organization exists here for. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So I
yes.
think that is where the authenticity, we can bring so many different interpretations to authenticity, ethics, and so on. But in general, if we question our purpose of living, you know, how many years you will have your hierarchical view of becoming, I am the vice chancellor, I am the general manager, and I can now tell everybody what you want. You would like to maintain that outside the organization as well, and can you do this? No. So why would you for few hours create that hierarchy and oppressive environment to upset a lot of people who doesn't have a voice, right? So I think that is where when I was in HR, I asked one of my receptionists who had a very big go at, some of our office assistants. I asked this receptionist, can you speak to our general manager the same way that you spoke to this office assistant?
Yes.
She was like, why, why? I said, if you can't do that, don't do it to anybody else, please. I think that is how we should create the authenticity. Can you actually create that genuine purpose where organization benefits? Don't, please get me wrong, organization has to benefit, because if you don't ensure that, the whole society collapse, because the organization has to survive for us to benefit out of it. So, but what we are missing here is unconscious incompetence. Even conscious incompetence doesn't help, because we are just aware of, we don't know, but we are not making an effort to know.
Yes, true.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Duminda.
Thank you.
Bu Hastuti, do you have anything to add, or do you have any? Maybe you can give a perspective about what Bu Jenny said.
I think enough from Duminda, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. We have two questions in the chat from Pak Andi Setiawan. Mr. Duminda, I want to ask about how to eliminate lack of trust in an organization in today's digital era. And Pak Edi Amiani Mr. Duminda, what do you think about regional organization like ASEAN? Are they resilient enough to face future challenges? And okay, I think we have a lot two other questions here.
Okay, maybe we go with trust question first, and then you can ask me the other question after.
Yes,
If
okay.
that's okay. Okay. Yeah.
We also have Pak Bagus Kunchara here, already raised his hand. And we go to Pak Bagus Kunchara after we finish the questions in the chat box. Okay.
Okay, very quickly. So
yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of trust, I can again give one or two few examples, but let me say again, I think the previous discussion about the purpose matters here. Okay. And the next is about, walking the talk. Do the leader does what they say, and does it resonate with the organization? And then how we see as followers makes a big difference. So for example, if I teach or try to educate, am I learning to teach? Right? Do I know what I talk about and have a preparation? And that, in my view, as a leader, as a person who's trying to influence others, my voice, the face, right? And that conveys actually what I say is I mean about it, right? And that is being authentic. The last question is paramount in building trust, because there's enough fake leaders. In 2 days we know that this is like proper BS in our view. That's not just, it doesn't, or she doesn't, or they do not mean that. You get it. If my daughter who's 5, 6 years got it, that when I say no, so, and then often you got to first talk what you believe in, but question whether you believe the right thing, and create that behavior as a leader that will be transferred into the community. So I think that's the way forward. It's very qualitative. It's very difficult. I understand that, but that's important. Authenticity as a leader is very important.
I think it's also related to the idea of humility that
Yeah,
Hastuti have already
empathy.
said earlier.
There's lot
willingness
coming
to
in. But like as you are authentic, you really care about others. The empathy often happens where you were like, wow, yeah, I got to think from their perspective. Why? I got to be there. You know what I mean? And that trust is enhanced.
Okay. Because we are run out of time, I'm a bit concerned about time here. So I will read some of the questions already in the chat box. And then we go to Pak Bagus, and then Duminda and Bu Tuti. Please respond to these questions.
Okay, let me write down that.
Okay, Pak Edi Amiani, Mr. Duminda, what do you think about regional organizations? And ASEAN in the Southeast Asia, or maybe European Union in the Europe, are they resilient enough to face future challenges? Okay.
What organization? Sorry.
ASEAN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ASEAN. And then from Pak Imanta Gurusinga, Mr. Duminda, difference of POV, point of view about coaching from West countries compared to Asian countries, especially Indonesia, totally different. What are behind the thought? What are behind it? What makes it different? And how to change that paradigm? And from Bu Ella Juliani, from your point of view, what are the differences between coaching and counseling? Coaching and counseling. Yes, and I will. I think this is there's a lot of questions. I think there's a very interesting topic for us to explore in such a limited time. But we have Pak Bagus Kunchara and Bu Dila and Pak Irfan already raised their hand. We go first with Pak Bagus.
Okay. My voice is clear or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Duminda,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Joseph, and Bu Astuti. Good
Yeah.
evening. I'm Bagus Kunchara from Bogor, Indonesia, Mr. Duminda. It's very spoiled with your material this evening. Thank you about coaching
Thank you
because
very much.
my background is from palm oil and forestry. And for now, I have a big concern about coaching on ESG and sustainability. Maybe
ESG.
Mr. Juminda, may I humbly asking about your experience, maybe in UK, India, or Sri Lanka that you have been there,
Yeah.
about do you have any experience or story about this cultural barrier challenge? About I'm so curious about how to introduce this culture, how to maintain the tension between in the process, and how far coaching culture can thrive to fruit to aim the fruitful organization, especially in industry like my background from traditional industry or extraction industry. Do you maybe your story will be so interesting for us? That's all, Mr. Juminda.
Yeah, so it's about, just to be clear, it's about how we can embed coaching into a culture like yours. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
that's
something.
right.
So the problem I see, if I bring again back from my, Sri Lankan perspective, um, to have an open conversation is very difficult for me, for example, because we are often, early days through parents and then schools. It's about just listening, right?
Yeah,
So
that's difficult.
when I am asked by someone to say, okay, please, let's talk about this, I'm like, I still struggle, right? So
Oh,
as a coachee, as a culture, I think that's where the first has to come. Do we actually create voice for people? If it's not first verbal, can we create voice through other ways, means? And, like, so the gradual change. So you got to,
oh,
you know, uh, defreeze the iceberg a bit.
yeah.
And then that will also lead to trust, that will lead to relationship. And then, you can maybe come to that perspective. Is it clear? So one reason I first decided to come to UK is also the same reason. I had a lot of great ideas, but I couldn't express this, right? And I was like, I
Okay.
got to find a way to voice my concerns, voice my ways of thinking. So I was looking for a voice. So I think as an organizational leader, what you can first do is create an environment rather than thinking coaching. Are you listening enough? Listening is the worst ability that we have now. We are so used to tell. And also, are we giving the voice? No point giving the voice if you're not listening. And are you listening to tell, or are you listening to understand? We are always listening to tell. I am. So I am trying to learn in my conversations with my kids, for example. That's a great environment to learn for me. So I think that is what we should do as organizations.
Okay.
Hope that helps. It's very
Okay,
challenging, I think.
very challenging about the gradual change, about gradual improvement. That's maybe long life challenge for
Yeah.
us to.
All of us.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Duminda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, before we go to Budila and Pak Irfan, maybe Bu Hastuti and Domina, do you have any response to the
Yeah.
question from the chat?
I like the question about, what we should change from West to Asia, or, it might be, we've been changing everything to fit into West and the Western models. So my first impression is, I don't think we should change anything first. It's about if we, the who writes the literature, including me, tells you, hey, this is what coaching is. It's not time to believe in that. Coaching doesn't, ask you to believe. And we were forced to believe. If you think about any model, any theory that we talked about, you learn they are from West, right? So I think it's time now for us to think this is coaching for us. So, like I give you this example in university systems in Sri Lanka, there's a concept called kuppia. Kuppia is like a little lamp in our language. So what happens is whoever who miss lectures, who doesn't understand the concept that a lecturer has taught, there's a peer discussions group where they get together and learn together. This has been there for long in Sri Lanka. I was thinking, this is coaching for Sri Lanka, right? And they learn better from their peers than from their lecturers. But we haven't given them a voice to say, please tell us what you do. You know what I mean? Encourage those conversations further. So I think rather than trying to change, I think we got to look at what the culture brings as a nation to Indonesia, what these resilient organizations bring. And based on that, can we learn something from West, but adapt to our cultures and see how we actually, you know, uh, find a way of coaching rather than thinking there's one way of coaching. For us in Indonesia, in Sri Lanka, in India, is the best way forward.
I think that's very, very interesting. Coaching that is embedded in a locally way of life, local culture, and everything. Bu Hastuti.
Yes. Okay. I will give a quick response to the questions. Yeah. First, do you think that Indonesian companies, sorry, Asian company will survive? Yeah, able to face the challenge? Yeah. Well, I think when organizations still rely on the capability of the tangible resources, I think that we can survive only in the short term. But when the organization rely of the knowledge capability of the organization, they should be survive or even growth. Yeah, and knowledge of organization only generate from the cumulative knowledge of the all the employee in organization. And to get there, yeah, the organization will able to generate organization knowledge only if everyone want to share, and the coach is the role is play the role important. And the second question is, can we adopt Western culture into Indonesian model, Asian model for the coach? I think it can be mixed. Yeah, not all the Western way to coach is not fit to our culture. Yeah. For example, previously I shared about how our leaders, top leaders, start the coaching culture by stimulate the failure of the top leaders, yeah, of the general manager, and then how he used the power to push or to change the mindset of the management, that sharing the failure is open here, and then we then realize that the organizations open for the mistake and failures and learn from it. Then we adopt in the department. Yeah, for example, in my department, project manager lead by the local people, yeah, lead by the Indonesians manager. Then we define the method. Yeah, we share the knowledge in the coffee break, which is not used by the Western people. Yeah, so we can take the benefit of the from both the cultures. Yeah, and then the leader know the best way or the best model to coach the people in their department. I think that's opinion from me, Duminda and Joseph.
Thank you, Bu Hastuti. This is something that maybe we have we see every day but we don't realize that it's a form of coaching, like conversation between managers and employees in warung
Exactly.
kopi or while eating nasi pecel and everything. It's sort of
Exactly.
like exchange ideas.
And
It's nurturing.
and
Yeah.
also if you go back to how we learned in the past, this is exactly how we learned in the past.
Yeah.
If you look at how kids learn, right? How we learn crafting, how we learn even, indigenous medicine is about being around, socially discussing things, following and doing, so which is theoretically informed if you think about transformative learning, experiential learning, right? Andragogy is all about trusting, right? So your father or mother trust you to pass that indigenous medical knowledge, and you became a doctor. Nobody looked for a certification those days, right? But now it's all about certification, right? You got to have that to claim that you are a doctor. But
Professionalization.
exactly. So I think we got to go back a little to understand how did we actually naturally learn in the past.
I would like to read a few questions from the chat. Let me find it. From Dr. Tefilis, Pak Theo. Is the failure of sustainability initiative primarily a direction problem or an alignment problem? Okay, maybe we can respond to that, but we will have to, I want to give an opportunity to Bu Dila and then Pak Irfan, subsequently to give their questions or comments about this presentation, the conversation. Feel free, Bu Dila.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Pak Joseph, and good evening, Pak Joseph and Bu Hastuti, and also Mr. Duminda. It's really nice to know you here, and yeah, that was a very insightful presentation for me, and of course for us. Yeah, my name is Dila. I am currently pursuing my master degree in business, and yeah, I am interested in theory of triple bottom line. What I understand is I believe that the organization should not focus only about for the profit, but also organization should consider for the people and planet, right? Yeah. However, in reality, I think it's difficult or challenging to do three aspects at the same time, Yeah. So my question is in building a resilient organization from your POV, Mr. Duminda, or maybe Ms. Hastuti and Pak Joseph, which aspect that should we strengthen first? Yeah, is it from people that related to social or planet related to environmental, or the economic that related to profit itself? Yeah, I think that's my question. Thank you.
It's a very good question, because first is about, okay, do we assume that there's an organization exists? And then we can think, okay, yes, maybe we can then focus on, people. But if we are thinking of entrepreneurship and creating an organization, you got to have the finance to create it, is it? So it's like egg or the chicken kind of an argument. If I say it's finance first, not people, because even if you think about creating a business, there should be at least one person who's having the entrepreneurial mindset to create it. So what we see in terms of research evidence is, you said it's very difficult to focus on. I acknowledge that if you don't have money, you can't focus on environment and put the structure in place or the policy in place to look after the environment, sustainability, and so on. And if you don't have enough money, you can't look after your people. So we had recently had this discussion whether we have great people, we start looking after them, and then the organization become profitable, or whether the organization first become profitable and then start focusing on it. In the past, this is what has happened. Many organizations so unethically make enough profit and enough money and take billions, and then they claim that we are a very socially responsible organization and fund a lot of money into the environment conservation and all this. right? So, but as we progress within this current business environment, what we see is new organizations who have been like, new generation created business organizations were fully focusing on all three elements or beyond as they start moving forward. So I think, there's now good results and evidence to say we can, and there's an opportunity for us to have a bit more balanced perspective into it. I can't concretely say it's finance first and then, I don't have that, detail. Okay, this is the way forward answer, but I think organizations are more sustainable. Not I'm mentioning about the environmental sustainability as an organization sustainability, how long they can exist. If you think about it, having the balanced perspective have been very helpful. So I think as leaders, it's about taking that challenge rather than thinking, no, I make profit first and then, we all know the money makes a big difference in terms of funding. If you need solar panels, if you need this, if you need electric cars, it's all about money, is it? So it's very challenging, but I think there's enough emerging research that suggests even younger generation now would even go to work if you feel that this organization is harming the environment or toxic workplace to work. People avoid that. So I think as an organization, it will be very difficult in the future to survive if you don't focus on sustainability or look after their people well. I hope it helps.
Yeah, I think it's very clear answer. Thank you so much for your insight. Thank you, Mr. Duminda.
Thank you, Bu Lila. Okay, Pak Irfan, just go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Duminda.
Hi,
Good,
Irfan.
good morning in UK, right?
Yeah, it's 10:30 now.
Yeah, and good afternoon to Mr. Joseph and Miss Stuti and all of the audience. I think I have one simple questions, but you have already touched on it a little bit in the beginning of your presentation.
Okay.
About if we are talking about the sustainability, that it's not only one element like environment, but there is a human in there, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So I want to bring our discussion this afternoon to the global issue that what happened in UK, like you said, that so many poverty, so many British struggling with their life, and we can see more wide to what happening in the world, geopolitics and economical war, what happened in the Palestine, in Ukraine. I want to hear from you your thoughts. How far this our discussion will impact to the global issue. Thank you.
Yeah, that's again a very challenging question. Like sustainability summits. I don't remember, how often they meet, and often when they meet, people question, okay, you flew on your private jets and talk about sustainability. You know what I mean? So this is actually the problem, and then you've been talking about for let's say 10 years and have some progress in sustainability, and then Putin start a war and nobody have control, right? And then Trump comes and say something and do something completely different, so they take the whole thing away from us. So this has been actually the question and the problem we had. So, and at the end, you get the blame for things that you never had the power to control. So if you check the figures for sustainability related issues, who created that is not uh, developing countries, but who are most affecting is developing countries, right? So the leadership has to change. The power dynamic has to change. So can we do that through the conversation? I think yes. This is what has happened through all the movements from Mahatma Gandhi to Nelson Mandela. People did not believe that they could do it. Somebody just come and did give up the seat in America in the bus, and people thought stupid idea. What would you do? You be in jail. But that created that the whole social change for great humanity. So I think yes, the academic institutions, the researchers, practitioners, organizations have to actively voice, but the alternative would be to say, okay, it's politics, it's Trump, it's Putin, it's the world powers. I have nothing to do it, and be in the bed and sleep, cover your head and be there. So I think, uh, uh, from my capacity, I voice it. I teach for my kids, my learners. I take that perspective worldwide, and the people think about it. If one single person change today, one single organization have a different approach, I think slowly but surely we can get somewhere. Let's try our best. That's my urge. I am very aware of all the systemic issues. That is where we come here now, and we have all these issues, right? So thank you very much for the question. It's a very good one, and it is the biggest challenge we have, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Duminda. Thank you for your talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Irfan, for your question. We have a few questions in the chat. First from Bu Carolina. From your POV, from your point of view, how can sustainability-focused coaching strengthen children's sense of responsibility for the community environment? And Bu Carolina's background is a primary school teacher.
Oh, amazing!
But this is a very interesting. I will go first to Bu Hastuti. Maybe Bu Hastuti, do you have any comments about this question? I think this is a very interesting question because primary school is a different organization, but it deals with the future generations of our
Yes, but before I respond to that question, I would like to respond
Okay.
Pak Theo questions here in the chat room. Yeah, this is interesting, yeah, Duminda, yeah. So he said that the organization often articulates sustainability direction, yet operational KPI prioritize cost and speed, yeah. And is the failure of the sustainability initiative primary a direction problem or an alignment problem? Yeah. So from my experience, when I work at the profit-oriented organization for the 15 years, yeah, the problem is not about the directions, yeah. Not also about alignment, yeah. Alignment, I mean alignment on the paper, alignment on the strategic plan, yeah. But I think that from my personal experience, the problem is about the commitment, yeah. Commitment from the top management until to the first level managers, yeah. So I think that how to change the cultures, yeah, about when we talk about Pak Irfan concerns about the sustainability of organization and sustainability in the global, yeah. In the era of capitalism, all people influenced by the priority oriented of the personal profit, yeah, personal goals, yeah. So all people are concerned about the global issue, yeah. But do you think that all people aware and want to involve to give a better sustainable environmental? That is a big question for us, yeah. So we can not change the awareness of all the people, of all the employee. Only one person plays, yeah. But from one person, when we coach other, we share our talk, yeah, the important our role to make the sustainability, yeah. So other people will involve these programs, yeah. So in aggregation action, so we can bring the positive or a little better effect, yeah, to the global environmental. So I think that's from my opinion, Pak Joseph.
Yes. Also, if you think about alignment,
you.
I think we have been having a blaming culture, right? So we blame everybody for creating the problem, but we were not looking for, like there's a concept called unpositive, positive, unconditional positive regards. So can we not look at, how we actually can do something about it rather than we blame Trump and, yes, it's systemic, we know. The other is in terms of integration, the problem is the big companies, the power holders were blaming the people who doesn't have the power. That's again the baby clutcher, but they've been creating the problem. You know what I mean? So in terms of alignment in Theo's question, I think the alignment has to happen. Okay, what Nestle's can do rather than what I can do. Because here I can give you that example. We were using quite a lot of free polythene bags in most of the supermarkets 5 years ago or so. The government came in and said, look, why would you do it? So they impose 5 pence for a bag. And here I think people are very price sensitive. So within a month or so, billions of bags were, gone down in their use. And then make it 10p. And then the impact is unbelievable. So we got to find a way of, again, the behavior. How do you challenge the behaviors of people through the cultural norms sometimes? If you are a price sensitive nation, so they implemented that based on that. In terms of COVID, I can give you this example again. So here they were like, okay, you can't go out. People would not listen to the government if they just say you can't go out. This is a free country. I can go out when I want. This is how they think. When I can go to holiday, these were the questions they were asking from the government. And then they make a law. Okay, it is illegal to go out, passed by the parliament. Suddenly people are like, oh, it is illegal. Illegal is a big thing here. If it's illegal, people try not to do it. Right? But in Sri Lanka, even if it's illegal, it's fine. Right? People just do it. So how do you make sense of these things will have a really great impact on how we influence the behavior. In Sri Lanka during COVID time, they tried to punish people come out. Right here, they brought psychologists into the parliament and asked how long they can stay inside without going out. So yes, medicine, the science matters. They've also brought in human behavior into decision making to say if we are to make something that is possible to happen, we got to look at human side of it, human behavior side of. So I think we got to see, yes, big organizations have a bigger role to play, big governments have a bigger role to play, but maybe you know you can spark motivation as Mandela did from the bottom. So let's, until big organizations does it, let's do it from below.
From below. Change from below. Thank you. I think this is a very important point. I think, do you have any questions remain in the chat? Or
I think the primary school thing is,
Oh yeah,
I think
primary
it's a
school, sorry.
very
Yeah.
important thing, so please look at the theory called attention retention. Like in Germany, for example, a lot of primary kids now do forest schooling, right? Attention retention is about going back to nature to improve your attention. And there's enough evidence where you have that. And in my daughter's schools, they often do forest schooling now. So being in the environment, they also teach or support them to understand the essence of looking after the environment. essence of the animals, the trees, the plants, and so on. I think in terms of generating sustainability orientation among our next generation would be to go back to the environment, educate them within those environments and use the environment to educate would be, I think, the best way forward. So through, uh, so again, I think the going back to where we were would be the best way of learning how we can respect more towards our environments, so I hope that helps. So I think the world is going back, and whereas we are looking for, like in Sri Lanka, they're looking for big classrooms with AZs, big screens, and iPads, whatnot. And here, for example, now in some schools decided not to give homework, system-based homework. So they are going back to papers, right? So I think it's time to question where we were, how we learned, why our the ancestors were so much into our environments, they looked after it, and why we lost that ability to look after it, live within that environment, harmoniously supporting the environment to grow as we grow. We've turned it our way around, thinking this is the best way and kill the whole system. So I think it's time for us to go back to primary schools.
Please, Bu Hastuti, if you have.
Excuse me, the question from Monang Putra, Babak Monang Putra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, is it correct? No.
The question from Bu Carolina.
Bu Carolina.
About the primary school.
Can you please read the question?
Okay, I'll.
Okay.
How can sustainability focused coaching strengthen children's sense of responsibility for the community environment? To bring sustainability focus to children.
Well, I think that children more open mind than adult. Yeah.
They're ready to coach.
Yeah, ready to coach. Yeah, they are easy to process the informations. Yeah, whether they can accept it or not. Yeah, so. Well, Ibu Caroline, when we can strengthen the mind of the children for the sustainably concerns, yeah, I think that we will have a better world, yeah, better environmental, because this generation have the background mindset that we have to focus and concerns about the sustainability. Yeah.
Can I also add a very little on that? Like in terms
sure.
of children's education, I can again tell you from my experience in Sri Lanka, for example, what we do is we stop them learning. Please look at some work on Professor Mitra, for example, hole in the wall concepts. There's a tech talk on that. So they've found that if you put few kids together and with no instructions, right? Put a task and leave it them, and they are very capable of self-teaching and getting the work done. But what we do is often we think they don't know. It's us we know, right? Very wrongly so. And we stop them doing things from day one till, I don't know, from when. Even still my mom tells me things, no, you shouldn't do this, you should. And it's cultural, right? And this way, I think we stop kids learning a lot and their creativity. But very interesting finding through one of our research recently. A lot of very experienced, world famous coaches we interviewed. We asked, so what is it like to coach? Oh, now I have a childlike sense. I am so curious. I am just there listening, ready to learn. So you become a coach. You think now you go to somebody to be coached. You are there to get some support. The coach was telling us, oh, I am ready to learn. I am like a child. I feel I'm in a like a dancing flow. There's a flow here. I feel the sense, the presence. Like very philosophical. I was like, wow, that's amazing. To get there is difficult, but children's, they have it. They are so present. You hear, you talk. You think they don't hear you. They hear you, right? And you think they play. You think they don't know what's going around them. They know it. But what we do is we stop them absorbing that, right? Putting structures into it. So let's think more,
Yeah.
maybe.
Thank you for Duminda. There's a question from Pak Monang Putra in the chat. Um, is there any correlation between how education level influence coaching and mentoring, especially for alignment goal and purpose itself? And then question from Pak Fritz Gunawan. Hello, Dr. Duminda. May you share from your point of view how we as Asian can compete with Western people through coaching and learning and development? Should we study abroad? And then one more question from Pak Martin Stefanus, talking about coaching to develop focus, presence, and resilience. So how can ethical leaders use coaching to ensure that resilience leads to self-directed learning and genuine well-being, rather than just becoming a tool for higher productivity? I think instrumentalization of coaching, like what Bu Hastuti have said earlier. And the last question from Bu Sufi Erliawati. I want to know, Mr. Duminda and Mrs. Hastuti, perspective about my question. If profit still the main indicator of company success, can real sustainability truly exist in today's economic system? Well, I think this is a very amazing questions. Not easy question, not easy to answer, but
So maybe we start with the last one, because if the profit is the main motive of the organizations, I see there's quite a lot of organization, having to change. Sometimes it's the politics, sometimes it's the national policy. They've been asked to now produce their sustainability reports, for example, right? And recently, HSBC in the UK was fined billions for greenwashing. That is claiming that they are greener than they are, right? So there's some positive structural, political, and legal frameworks coming into play here in terms of, okay, yes, you can focus on profitability, but not compromising some of the values that harms humanity. Is it clear? So I think, yes, there's still space, and that is still happening. That's why we see the problems that we see. But there are some positive changes in terms of monitoring, whether you look after the planet and the people. Like there's quite a lot of external bodies now evaluate people practices within organizations. And that has become a driver for internal change within organizations. So here we have awards and external bodies who evaluate the diversity elements within organizations, whether you provide learning and development, like triple accreditations of business schools, for example. They look at how much research support I get, how much funding I get. So as an individual, I have more support as a person who works for organizations because of these different bodies who are trying to, create that balance. So I think there's positive changes in terms of that.
Thank you, Pak Duminda. And Bu Hastuti?
Yes, from my opinion, if the company final purpose is only the money, so actually they should they should ready, yeah. They should ready for another cost, yeah. For example, even we can generate high profit, but if the people always perform negative behavior, yeah, so the company will influence of that, yeah. But if the people in the organization already has internal motivation that they are concerns to the sustainability of organization, sustainability of the world, yeah, I think that to perform the task, yeah, to achieve the target, it is the outcome that follow that behavior, yeah. So the employee will not focus or will not concerns about how to maintain such negative behaviors, yeah. So that's from my point of view, yeah.
Yeah. Also, sustainability is not just the environment, somebody said. So this is something that we got to be very aware of. You know, if you see goal 4 is about quality education, right? Goal 70 is about collaborating to support those goals, diversity, inclusion. Like there's quite a lot of elements within sustainability. So, you know, we got to look at, okay, let's park some of it. We can't do for now. Can we ensure quality education through our practice? This is a way forward to, you know, contribute to sustainability too, because knowledge, change behavior is paramount.
Yes. And my research, yeah, about the pro environmental behavior show that the company who has employee commitment to the environmental, they reduce the cost, yeah, for the operational. So this is so us that the sustainability proactive behavior from the employee also give the benefit to the organizations, yeah, not only the image but also the financial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you. Very good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's a very nice way to like sort of conclude the
Yeah.
conversation. I think we haven't exhausted all the thoughts and the questions that people already ask or they want to ask, but I think this is a good starting point to keep talking or keep discussing um, coaching, the importance of coaching in embedding sustainability focused culture and also organizational and strengthen organizational resilience and how we to be open mind, how to incorporate different ways of thinking, different ways of viewing the world and living in the world. And unfortunately, we are limited by time. We have discussed almost 1 hour and a half now. And yeah, it's truly an engaging discussion. I'm really grateful for the participation and enthusiastic response and questions from the audience, from all the students and the participants. So this is all for us. We are academic community, and so we are here to exchange ideas and help each other grow. Okay, I think we are ready to move to conclude the event. Now
Maybe Joseph,
oh yeah,
can I just, you know, add
yes,
one thing before? So
okay, yes.
thank you just, you know, to the opportunity. Also, I just wanted to conclude from my perspective. I want you to ask this question. So what now? Why did you attend this session? You know, how does that session helps? Anything that you think that you can change first within, and then maybe within your immediate environment, and then with your organizations, please take that forward and ask this question: can I do something today? And then can my immediate environment be influenced by? And then I will do the same as part of, you know, this initiative where we engage in a good conversation. I will also go back and think, is there anything else I can do? So let's do it together, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Duminda. It's very important. Who has to say, do you have any?
Yes, thank you, Duminda, for this nice evening here, yeah. Afternoon, actually, yeah, and also for the all participants here from the discussion through the chat or also direction talking to the participants here. First, yeah, it's give me personally enhance the academic ambience, yeah. So so we learn, yeah. I learned from the Minda, I learned from all the participants. So this is actually the first step of coachings, yeah. And also from the Duminda talk that I also reflect that previously, I limited the concept of coaching only to the instrumental goals, yeah, not for the humanities, not to enhance the other welfares, yeah, human beings, yeah. Even I didn't realize it, but unconsciously it is in my mind that when I coach, yeah, I have the instrumental goal from sharing to others. So thank you for the self-reflection, Duminda. So let us start from ourselves, yeah. When we coach, when we share to others what the purpose of this activity, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hastuti. I think it's okay. Okay. Now I think we're ready to conclude the event. I'm now giving the stage to Angie. Angie?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Joseph. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the end of this insightful session, I personally hope all of the insightful session that we got today may be applicable for all of you. And with that, we would like to express our deepest appreciation to both our distinguished speakers. Dr. Theophilus will also be joining me on screen as we present the certificates and capture the virtual photo session. We will now proceed with the certificate presentation. Dr. Theophilus, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. First, may I invite to Dr. Duminda Rajasinghe. We'll be taking picture together with the certificate, sir. All right.
Okay.
Itu masih ada.
Oh, we're taking picture now, or?
Yes. Team
Oh,
News
okay.
Table will be taking the screenshot, sir. Let's take the formal pose picture first.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Now let's do the E sign pose, sir. E is for entrepreneur, sir. With E sign with your right hand.
How do you do that? Okay.
All right.
Like this?
With your right hand, Duminda.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, Doctor. Next.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Duminda,
you.
for the
Thank you.
for the insightful session. Okay,
Thank you
and
so
we
much
just
for
learned
having
that
me.
Resilience is not just a crisis response capacity, right? But and also an adaptive learning cultures. Okay, so I do hope that everyone here, okay, get a very insightful session with you. Okay, and don't forget that we still have a lot of projects together. Okay,
Thank
I'll
you.
think of that.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Next, may I invite Dr. Hastuti Naibaho? May you present the certificate? Yes. We'll be taking the formal pose first. 1, 2, 3. Next with the E sign pose. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hastuti, for joining us and giving us such a brief conclusion and very motivational quotes about sustainability and culture. Okay, so hope to work with you and implement that in our department also.
Thank you, Pak Bos.
All right, thank you, Dr. Theophilus, also for joining us for the certificate acknowledgement. Before we conclude, we will now have a virtual group photo session with all the participants. So kindly turn on your cameras and give us your best smile. Okay, I'm waiting for the participants to turning on their camera. Okay, I think we'll be having the screenshot until the 6th slide. So yeah, Team UCO team, get ready for the first slide. 1, 2, 3. Second slide. 1, 2, 3. Third slide. 1, 2, 3. Fourth slide. 1, 2, 3. Fifth slide. 1, 2, 3. And sixth slide. 1, 2, 3. And apparently there's the seventh slide. 1, 2, 3. All right. Awesome. Thank you everyone for your participation. Before we officially close today's event, I would like to remind the UC student to do your attendance on your CEDX app or your UC student app. Please, UCO team, yeah, the screen. All right, so how to fill out the survey is first you open your CEDX student through your browser, or you can also fill it out from your UC student app. Go to the survey section and fill it out until it's finished. So your credit point may be redeemed by this. Remember that the time to fill out the survey is only 15 minutes. So please fill out this as soon as possible. I encourage you to fill it out now. So yeah, and your feedback that you fill in the survey definitely will help us improve our future international academic programs. Distinguished speakers, respected lecturers, and dear participants, on behalf of Universitas Ciputra Online Learning, we sincerely thank you for your active participation in today's international talk. Building resilient Asian organization through sustainability-focused coaching and mentoring. May the insights shared today inspire stronger, more resilient, and sustainable organizations across Asia and beyond. I am Angelica as your Master of Ceremony, and I would like to apologize for any shortcomings during today's event. Good afternoon, and see you in our next international session. Bye!
Bye. See you all.
Yes. Thank you, Duminda. Thank you, Bu Hastuti.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Duminda.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Thank you, Pak Joseph.